All right. I think I got it working. Had a false start on starting this live stream. Good morning. It is March 13th, 2021. And this morning, it's Saturday, I'll be enjoying this coffee right here. This is from Equal Exchange. It's called Mind, Body, and Soul, a blend of medium and Vienna roasts. It's very good. One of my tricks to making good coffee is to measure the amount of grounds and measure the water. Everybody measures the water, but not everybody measures the amount of grounds. So if you measure the amount of grounds, then you can consistently improve the ratio until you get it just right. It depends on the filter, the coffee maker, the specific coffee you're using. So anyway, those are some coffee tips. All right, so we're going to be talking about rolling options. I actually put the wrong name in here on the stream. Let me edit the name here. 1 second. Rolling options. To keep the good stuff and dump the crap. Trading homework. February. No, this is not February. This is March 13th, 2021. All right. All right. And Chris isn't here today, so I'm going to drop his Twitter handle from the video. All right. So, anyway, got that all sorted. So what I have up here, this is a paper trading account. This is not a real trading account, but I put a bull call spread on here. This is the 400 410 for SPY, expiring April 23rd. And it's just a sample position. I don't actually have this position in a real account. I just put it on for us to look at these rolling tools. So first thing I want to show is when you roll a spread like this. So this spread has two legs. It has your long 400 call and your short the 410 call with this one. And you can see when I expand the legs, you see that there's a 4 quantity there and a -4 quantity there. And the market value of these two nets out. So before we talk about rolling, we need to talk about combos. And so in this paper trading account, I think my average price was $3.07 per spread. I should have put this on in a real account because it's actually up money, not by much. But anyway, what you need to know about options combos is that I put on this combo essentially as a single trade, and it doesn't cost me the 2,000 something dollars here for these 400 calls. It actually I just pay the net. So the 400 call minus the 410 call, that's what I paid in at least is in this paper trading account. So from my perspective, it looks like this. I don't know why it's showing me these legs here when I have 0 on them. That's kind of annoying. But what I need to show you is sometimes when you're rolling these bull call spreads, they'll get inverted. And so if I flip this combo to an April 23rd bear call, all it does is change the way it presents. And it can be really confusing. So if I do that, now it shows that my position is -4 for the bear call. But it's the exact same position. It's just presenting in a way that's confusing. You might look at this and think like, oh my gosh, I'm like short this 400 call and long the 410 call when I didn't mean to. So come in here on the account screen and take a look. And if you flip the combo back to the bull call, then it should look like what you expect. So yeah, now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to close this window. One last thing is my P&L on the combo comes from it's this one. It's the net of the legs. So it doesn't matter what options you have in the combo. I think you're capped at having about 6 different legs, and they could be on any calendar or whatever, in any ratio quantity on the legs. But I think that the most legs you can have is 6. And so all these things that I'm saying are true where the underlying instrument is the same. So if I were to put on a position that has 2 different underlying instruments, I don't think IB has a way, that's Interactive Brokers, I don't think they have a way to combine those 2 different underlying instruments, all those legs, into one combo. I don't know that I would want to do it like that anyway. So the unrealized P&L that's showing here is the net of the legs. So that's what's going on there. So there's a few places you could do a roll. So we'll talk about why to roll, and we'll also talk about the mechanics of rolling just a little bit. So the roll button is right here, and if it's also on the other screen too. I can roll it on the other screen, but if I click, I can roll legs individually too. So see if I right click the 410 leg, I can roll that. And that's actually a really useful thing to do. We'll talk about that a little bit. So anyway, let's look at rolling the combo. And unfortunately, because it's the weekend, it's not quite letting me build these all the way. I guess because these are not active right now. And so here's what it's prompting me to do, the roll tool. It's saying that the first leg is, I'm long right now 400. So these are the actions that it's going to take. And it's saying, where do you want to roll the 400 call to? So that's leg 3. And then I would click. So if I wanted to roll it out a week, then I would click here on the 400. And what you would then see during market hours is this line here would, it says leg 3. I hope that the video quality is high enough to make it easy to see. But anyway, leg 3 would populate with a buy action, and it would have a, it would be for the April 30th 400 call, and it would be a buy. And then it would prompt me, because I'm rolling a bull call spread, I'm going to have to buy to close the 410 that I'm short. And so after I click, like say it was just rolling out on the calendar, same strikes to April 30th. After I clicked the 400 call to buy, I would then click the 410 call. This would flip around, and it would no longer be prompting me in blue. It would be prompting me in red to show which one I wanted to sell. And so I would click here on the 410 on the bid, and that would populate this line here, leg 4. And what I would see is I would see a buy 400 for April 30th and a sell 410 for April 30th. And then down at the bottom would be some order management controls. Like one of the buttons says mid. And so when you click mid, it'll be a little confusing at first. But what it's doing is it's actually figuring out the midpoint. This is why the roll tool is so good, because it will calculate the midpoint for all the legs, including the ones you're closing from your open spread. And it calculates the midpoint for the ones you're closing and the one you're opening. And it's doing even more than that. It's looking at, is this a net credit or a net debit to your account? And so in this case, rolling out on the calendar is going to be a debit, meaning that I'm going to have to take a little bit of money out of my account to put into the trade. However, when you roll, if the options that I'm closing add up to, like if it was a debit for me to put it on, and it adds up to a positive value, then I'll be credited that amount. And so that's going to net with the, it all nets out. And so I'll either be debiting a small amount from my account or getting credited a small amount. So here's how you might get credited. And you can use tricks to make it so that it essentially washes out and you can roll stuff for free. And I'll talk about some of those tricks. So let me get a notepad open, and because this tool isn't working right now, we're gonna have to just look at this by hand, basically. Maybe an Excel spreadsheet would be better. Let me get that open. Let's do it in an Excel. This window's too big. Hang on one second. All right. Hopefully this Excel is showing up fine. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put in the legs here. Leg 1, leg 2, leg 3, and leg 4. And the roll tool will do all this for you, what we're doing. So then this is gonna be debit or credit. Let me increase the font size here. Where is it? View. Maybe I could just do Control Plus. No. Is this gonna make it bigger? Let's edit all of these. Let's go with a font size of 20. There we go. Awesome. Space this out a little bit. And so we'll make a little formula in here that's going to do this math for us. So this is going to say equals A2 plus B2 plus C2 plus D2. Okay. And right now that's 0. So let's put these legs in here. I don't have the midpoints because that would be a little complicated to calculate, but with SPY the bid-ask spreads are pretty tight anyway. So let's first put in the trade that I was talking about, just rolling out on the calendar to give you one extra week. So the first thing we're doing is, and I'm looking right here, it's a sell 400, and right there's the bid ask. So because I'm selling this contract, I'm going to put the bid price in here, 543. 543. And because that's a sell, I'm getting money from that one. I'm going to use negatives for the purchases. So, so this sell adds money back into my account. This purchase takes money out of my account. So I'm going to put a negative here because it's money going out of my account. So minus $2.29. Okay, and you see this credit or debit changing? Like this is what the trade itself is worth. If I get the worst side of the bid ask here. And now let's put in the legs that we're rolling into. So we have to put a minus $6.49. Minus $6.49. And then on leg 4, we're going to put in, because we're shorting this one, we're going to put in a positive $2.94. Okay. Let's make this money. We might do a few, so let's edit this to look like money. Format as number, format, number format. Let's try currency. There we go. Awesome. That looks really good. Okay. So what this is showing here is essentially what the roll tool would show at the bottom. is I would see that it's going to cost me 41 cents. So I'll be debited 41 cents to do that roll. So we can put in different kinds of things in here. So I could pick any option I want for the leg. So let's look at how I can roll this to buy more time for free. You have a lot of options with, or a lot of choices with it. Let's label this. So this is the April 23rd 400 strike. That's not coming out. Label. Well, yeah, with them. All right, where's that? Format, text, number format, general. Maybe the number format doesn't matter. It interpreted that as a date. So let's try this a different way. 400 strike, April 23rd. Okay, there we go. This will be the 410 strike, April 23rd. Okay, cool. All right, so these are what we already have, and this is what we're rolling into. So this is the 400 strike, April 30. Why did that go away? Okay. Let's get this lined up. All right, so now we can play around with it. Let's copy this down and look at a way that we can roll this essentially for net zero. That's the goal. So one thing you can do, let's add some strikes. So if I go here, see how I can add more strikes? And you can add more calendar right there. So let's put in these. So one way you can do it is you can sell a more expensive call. And so if I find one that's 41 cents cheaper, so looking at the list here on April 30th, oh, I added those. I added wrong strikes. 409, 408, 407. Let's add these too. So we'll put lots of strikes on here. That's fine. Okay. Where's the 409? Does it not have it? Okay, we could do this a different way. It may not have a 409 strike, and this happens. So instead what I'll need to do is I can buy a call that's a little bit cheaper. So right here, the instead of going into the 400, I can go into the 401. So let's do this. Let's put the 401 strike right here. And then the 401 strike for April 30th only costs ask of $6.05. So let's put, it's going to cost us $6.05. Oops. And now you see that this, I can roll this and essentially get paid 3 cents. And if I get filled at midpoint, I'll get a bigger credit. And so this is how you can, if you buy options that are liquid, or if you trade in options that are liquid and that have value, and that have a lot of calendar around it and open interest, then you can do these kinds of maneuvers to keep to essentially keep the trade alive. So it's really helpful to know that you can do that kind of thing. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about rolling up and keeping the calendar the same. So the reason that we may want to do that is if the trade moved into a profit for us, then we may want to lock in some of the gains but still keep the trade in play. And this is something that I did with GameStop quite a bit recently, where if you're really trying to hit a home run, you might be tempted to buy options that are further out of the money in order to make the most out of it. But you don't have to do that. Instead, what you could do is you can roll up and essentially keep an option that's in the money as the option you're long, and an option that's out of the money as the option you're short, and just keep rolling up with the price as it's moving in your favor. And we'll see. I'll walk through an example here in a minute with this SPY bull call spread about what that looks like. So we've already talked about how you can essentially like roll out on the calendar inexpensively, or even get paid to do it. So this is a way you can do that. We've talked about how to use this roll tool, how to get to it, and how to not get confused when if your bull call spread flips into a bull. It was a bear call spread that you have a negative position in. To me, that's confusing when it flips like that. Sometimes the Interactive Brokers gets confused about the option combo that you're trying to have, and it just mislabels it. So we've talked about how to fix that in the very beginning of the video. So if you missed that, you can see it in the recording. If you're watching live, you just rewind to the beginning or whatever. It was after the part where I introduced the coffee, which is equal exchange, mind, body, and soul. Delicious. All right. Anyway, so let's talk about rolling up, but on the same calendar. So this is something that a lot of people may not be familiar with that you can do. So let's see if there's a 411 and a 415. And I'm going to put I already have 395 in there. Okay, great. There is a 411. So here's what we're gonna do. If the market moves in our favor after we put this trade on, what we may want to do is lock in some of that gain, but keep the trade in play. So let's see if there's a 412. Excellent. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll. Let me just put it in here, what it is that we're going to build. We're going to roll. First of all, the calendar is going to be the same calendar. So you can roll around in the same calendar. It's important to know that. And the other thing is, I would really suggest using the roll tool to do this. It's a lot easier to do that with the roll tool than to try to like manually roll this stuff, because it'll essentially fill it all at once for you. And these things are moving around like crazy. I used to roll these things by hand, and it was a pain. All right. So now I have to put in the right prices here, and then we'll have it accurate. So the 402 is going to cost us $4.66. So this is a minus sign because it's costing us $4.66. And then the 412 strike, we're going to get paid $1.85 for selling that one. $1.85. And so you can see here that by rolling up from a 400 410 bull call spread to a 402 412, it still has the potentially the same maximum value of 10 points because it's a 10-point spread. However, you're locking in a profit of 33 cents per spread if you do this roll. So this is what you'll get paid to do this roll. And so it doesn't sound like a lot, but sometimes these things will move in your favor a lot, and it's maybe you may be a little uncertain about what to do to lock in the gains or whatever. And so this is something that has been very helpful for me. And so the other thing you could do is you don't have to keep this at 10 points. So I'll give a real example. Is I was talking on the show last time that I was on with Chris that I was in a 50 point wide bull call spread in GameStop. And I think what I had was it's hard for me to remember the strikes. I think what I had was the 250, 300. And what I ended up rolling that into was, because it really started to race up the price. So I rolled that into a 290, 390. So I went from a 50 point wide bull call spread to a 100 point wide bull call spread. And then the stock started halting and gapping down. So while I had locked in some of the gains, I had actually locked in enough gains that it paid for the price of the entire position that I had rolled into. But because it started gapping down, what I ended up doing is at the end of that day is I rolled down into a 45 point wide spread. So by widening it and narrowing it, it does different things. Essentially, what you're going to want to be mindful of. So not only did I narrow it down to a 45 point spread, but I pulled the price a lot lower on it, and it was inexpensive to do that. So in general, there's a few guidelines that you can follow, and so let's lay out a couple more examples, and that'll make it really clear what these guidelines are. So in this case, we narrowed it, and we narrowed it by 1 point. And we got paid to do that. And so when you narrow it, it gives you credits. And when you make it wider, you're generally paying to do that, unless you roll with calls if you roll up. So that's the other thing that we didn't. Yeah, we talked about rolling up right here. And so this cost me I got paid 33 cents to roll up. And I would have got paid even more if I narrowed it. One reason why you might want to narrow it is because more time has passed. And so the option that the strike that you're short, it may have already eroded quite a bit. And so it may make sense to sell a lower strike because there's less time. So let's look at rolling up and narrowing this one. What we could do, let's shrink this into a 5 point spread. So I'm going to roll it from a 400, 410 to a 402, 407. And let's just take a look at that. So the 402 we already have in there. And we're keeping the same calendar, by the way. So let's put a 407 right here. And now I have to put in the price. 407 for April 23rd. We'd be selling this short, so we're looking at the bid price, $2.97. We get paid $2.97. $2.97. So as time goes by and this trade gets closer to expiration, this is the kind of thing you could be looking to do. Is you could be rolling up on the call you're long to be locking in gains, and you could be rolling down on the call that you're short to be locking in gains. So this is going to put $1.45 credit back into my account if I did this roll. If I rolled from the 400, 410 to 402, 407. And so as these options are getting closer and closer to expiration, you can essentially use these kinds of rolls to make a whole lot more out of the combo than when you originally put the trade on, what it could have been worth. So this could be worth a maximum of 10 points. This 400, 410. If we just put this on and forgot about it and decided we can keep it as long as we like it, that's how a lot of people trade these options. And that's not the most efficient thing you can do. So you can make these kind of adjustments all the time. I mean, maybe it's every day or every week, or some people even adjust these things in near real time. But you better be in some really liquid stuff if you're going to be making too many adjustments, because you are crossing the bid-ask spread at least a little bit. But yeah, using this roll tool, knowing this is here, is super helpful. It will facilitate doing these kind of trades. So this right here locks in at $1.50, and you can still make, or it can still be worth up to 5 points. So yeah, pretty sure that I'm looking at this right. All right. Well, anyway, that's what I wanted to show in the video. Not looking at any stock watch list or any macro views today. Just doing a overview of rolling. I may do a broadcast later. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I might reach out to Chris and see if he can come on the show. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, hit the like button. It's a new channel, or a new stream, so share the videos, help get the word out, and thanks for watching. Bye.